You're a teaching pastor that has a chaplaincy program that serves organizations in your community. One of your partners is construction. How did you introduce man therapy to this industry?
I really liked the way that they took a comic approach to therapy and a comic approach to talking about mental health with men specifically. It's really hard to talk about mental health. A lot of men are uncomfortable with it. So I utilized a lot of the language that came across in memes and things like that. And then I reached out to the man therapy team and just said, hey, tell me more what this is about, because I want to be able to help move in that conversation, the dial of mental health to the positive. And so I do a lot of corporate talks. I come into safety meetings. A lot of these companies take safety really seriously, like physical safety seriously. One thing that maybe a lot of people don't know is that larger construction companies, they work together to guarantee active measures towards physical safety on the job. And in so doing, that lowers their insurance rates and their premiums. And they kind of have this just mutual agreement that they're going to work together to bring those rates down and to make it more affordable. Well, one of the things that they do to make sure that they can promote safety is they have safety meetings where they talk about critical issues in the construction field that are necessary for safety. And these organizations now will bring me in, and I get the opportunity to talk about depression and anxiety and mental health. And one of the hardest parts of doing that is to provide a really easy screener to just help men understand where they stand emotionally. And man therapy does a great job of that. And they have an inventory right on their website. So it's really easy for me to just pop that up, put in a QR code, mention that in corporate talks when I do one-on-one triage counseling or one-on-one meetings. I can also just walk through that and help point people through easy resources above and beyond like their employee assistance program to do just that.
What are the main man therapy messages that resonate most with construction workers?
There's a really great message of when the suck goes from sun up to sundown is a great message. The reality is in the construction field, specifically in the trade skills, we haven't seen the kind of boom of industry that we are experiencing now since before the recession a number of years ago. And at that point, it was maybe 6-7 years of continued progress. And then the recession hit, and then no one knew what was going to happen with industry. But then after that, we've had about 10 plus years of sustained business. Even during the pandemic, there was a lot of money being pushed into building new structures. Companies are doing well, which is all really good for the economy, and it's all really good for our futures. And at the same time, it's created a lot of pressure for construction workers. People in the trade skills work irregular hours, they are on demand, and right now there's this tacit expectation that all of the work is going to get done right away. And so from the moment they show up on the job site until the moment they're done, there is a continued pressure and there's a continued frustration from owners and people who want their work done, that it's not being done fast enough, it's not being done the right way. And so these job sites then become this breeding ground for an environment that sucks. It sucks the life out of you. It sucks your time. It sucks the strength of your body. And sometimes, the day just feels crappy. And so that idea of when the suck lasts from sunup to sundown, they get that. They understand that. And I think another thing that goes along with that, and the trade skills specifically, sarcasm is basically the language that everybody speaks in common theme. And so if you don't have a way to pitch a thought or a concept without a form of sarcasm or a little bit of crassness, you're not going to connect. And that's what I love about the man therapy messages, and was what I love about the man therapy language, is that it isn't academic, although it's rooted in academia and it's evidence-based proved and all of those things. It's language that men, specifically trade skill workers, understand.
What ways have you been able to destigmatize mental health using man therapy with those in construction?
We talk about destigmatizing conversations on mental health or emotional well-being. Man therapy allows for a different language, a different perspective. Humor, in a lot of ways, is a great access point, and it's disarming. A lot of men don't expect therapists to be funny. A lot of men don't expect therapists to be crass. A lot of men don't have an expectation of what therapy is other than what movies show, and unfortunately, movies aren't always that helpful. So man therapy is really allowed for opportunities to say, look, mental health is real. Your struggles are real. You're not the only person who struggles. In fact, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of men in your community who do the work that you do, who are either younger or older than you, but they're struggling too. They're struggling in their marriages, they're struggling with addiction, they're struggling with anger, they're struggling with trauma and past experiences. Like, what happens to you and what happened to you, that matters. Your story matters. You as a person matter. You matter to your family. You matter to the world. You matter to your company. There's a lot about you that matters. And man therapy is one of those ways to say, listen, there is an organization, there are people who have put in time and money and resources to just helping you know that you matter. And at the end of the day, like, the sum of your stress and depression, that doesn't have to be your story. And that thing that happened to that person that you know that made a permanent decision because of temporary problems, that doesn't have to be your story. And I think that's probably been the most successful part of utilizing what man therapy offers, is to say, we are in this together. It may not all look the same, but we are in this together, and we're there for each other, and you matter.